Hello everybody and welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to my review for the 2019 Marvel film Spider-Man Far From Home, the follow-up to Avengers Endgame and the next Marvel film in that cinematic universe. We've just been to see it this morning, haven't we, for the early showing. The film is directed again by John Watts. It stars Tom Holland, of course, as Spider-Man. We have Samuel L. Jackson, Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck. We have Marisa Tomei, Jon Favreau, Zendaya. And this, like I say, it's a follow-up to Avengers Endgame. We're not going to give you any spoilers here. I'll give you a little bit about the basic plot. And essentially, Peter and his classmates are going on a trip to Europe that Nick Fury hijacks as there is a new threat developing. Nick Fury, Spider-Man, and a seemingly new hero, Mysterio, team up to take down this new threat that is shown itself across Europe. Now that is the basic premise of this film, and we're not going to go in any more depth than that. If you want to go and see, go and watch the film yourself. From my perspective, I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was the perfect antidote to Endgame, which I thought was a magnificent film, but it was quite a deep film, quite energy sapping film. It felt like an end of an era, didn't it, Endgame? And I think we needed something to cleanse the palate here, and that's exactly what we got with Spider-Man Far From Home, I think. What did you think of it?
It felt like it turned Tom Holland into Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
before he seemed like the new Spider-Man, and now he's a Spider-Man.
I think he's fully matured into the role now, hasn't he? I mean, you do see parts in this film where he's still doubting himself. And essentially he's still a young kid. He's playing a 16-year-old kid in the film. He's still got doubts. The world is mourning after the death of Tony Stark and Captain America and things like that, which they address in this film.
Captain America's not dead.
No, but according to the public, they think he's dead. You know, they haven't told him exactly what he did. And it felt like, you know, that he was really struggling because Tony Stark has kind of chosen to pass the torch to Tom Holland in this film, and onto Peter Parker, and he's struggling to cope with that responsibility here in this film. I thought some people may argue that the first half of this film drags a little bit. If you hear any coughing, that's the dog, he's just down there. But I actually really liked the first part of the film. It was fairly slow paced at times, but it was very character driven.
It was needed.
It was needed, you know, just to slow this universe down a bit.
It doesn't start with any Spider-Man stuff. It starts with Peter.
Yeah, it's mainly Peter on the trip, trying desperately to impress MJ. He's, you know, by this film now, he's fallen for MJ. And he's not sure how she feels about him, so you've got all that drama going on, and that was nice for him to focus on something other than the superhero stuff. Remind us that these films can and are usually character driven, and I really like the first part of the film, and the second part of the film, when it really kicks in, delivers big time, I think, as well. It's got some great action, hasn't it? Some cool new suits, do you think? Yeah, the stealth suit, which essentially is this Marvel Cinematics Universe nod.
Night Monkey.
Yeah, Night Monkeys is called in the film. It's the Marvel Cinematics Universe nod to the Spider-Man noir suit, really, isn't it? And I thought it looked really cool on screen. And there were some really cool scenes in here. I thought Happy played a real good, you know, Jon Favreau, who plays Happy. Played his most significant role in a Marvel film for years, you could argue. Even though he's popped up occasionally quite a lot in the Marvel films, hasn't he?
Especially the Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah. Other than like extended cameos, other than in quite a lot of the other films, I think he did a really good role in this one. Do you? Quite a good role model, if you like, for Peter, someone to lean on and get advice from, and I thought it did really good. I thought the chemistry between Peter and MJ was good. Do you think? I like what they've done with MJ in the Spider-Man films, in regards to, you know, the typical redhead that we're used to in the comics. I think there was a bit of blowback initially when she was cast, Zendaya as MJ, but I think, you know, even Stan Lee himself said, you know, you can do what you want in the movies, you know, you can change whatever you want, and I think it really works, don't you? Yeah, even what they've done with Flash as well. You know, he was a typical jock in the comics, wasn't he? You know, the athlete and stuff. They've changed him in the movies. That works.
He's Instagram
Yeah.
famous geezer. No.
Yeah. And the humour worked for me as well. I don't think they went overboard with the humour. I thought it was pretty fun initially. You know, the humour throughout it. Did you like the humour in the film? I mean, the Marvel films usually get it right. And I think they were clever in a sense of they didn't go Thor Ragnarok type humour here. It was more a bit more mellow in that sense, the humour, but it kind of worked and it felt real. And I was happy with what they gave in the humour in this film as well. It's hard to go into too much depth, and we may well do a spoiler review later down the line, because I genuinely don't want to spoil things. I mean, the end scene credits were a bit shocking, weren't they? Certainly the first one. The second one was a bit more fun, but the first end
The second
scene
one was shocking too, especially.
yeah, yeah, you nearly spoiled it then, did you?
No.
It's hard. It is hard to talk about this film without giving spoilers, but I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Me personally, did I like it more than Homecoming? That's difficult to answer. I think at the moment, I think I would say I did like it more than Homecoming, but it's very, very close, I'd say. I think they're both top quality is what I'm trying to say. And thoroughly enjoyed this. A really, really good Marvel film to follow up Endgame. I think if they'd have gone with Doctor Strange or somebody, or Ant-Man, or somebody following Endgame, they might have struggled. I think because it's Spider-Man and everyone loves Spider-Man, they made a really good choice to follow Endgame with someone, a superhero as strong as Spider-Man. So what would you give this out of 10? Max out of 10?
8.
8 out of 10? Okay. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I was really, really entertained by it, and I thought it was a really good follow-up. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. Say goodbye, Jake.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.